And with that, guys, I think we are officially live here for the first episode of B-rave with D-rave. Your boy Darwin Raven here. A, uh, you can call me Levi, D-rave, call me whatever you want. Um, but of course, we've been doing YouTube, Twitch for a little bit here and there, and we're trying to really put in a lot more effort here on the channel and the podcast. And we've been doing a lot of collaborations with, hey, what's up, Oak? First in the comments. We've been doing a lot of collaborations with Joe Stevens over at Seahawks Talk. Hey, there's my boy Joe! Plugging Joe right now, actually. So, if you haven't already, that is my friend Joe Stevens in the chat, guys. Joe Stevens runs a YouTube channel and podcast called Seahawks Talk. Definitely go check out his channel, like, subscribe. We do a Monday night collab every Monday for the past like 5 to 6 weeks around 6 to 6:30. I'm sorry, 9 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, which would be 6 to 6:30 Standard Pacific Time. But welcome in, guys. We've been trying to plug a lot on Twitter, so we're hoping to get our I think I had a Jacksonville guy that might drop in as well. I'm excited for it. But I spent a lot of time yesterday, trying to plan out here what the exact schedule is per se for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days before the draft, guys. Hey, congrats, Oak Squirrel, on that. Again, if you Oak, you run a YouTube channel as well, correct? If Oak Squirrel does, subscribe Oak Squirrel's channel too. Oak Squirrel's been in my channel for quite a bit. It's always just a good to have some people in here. How are you doing today, Joe and Oak, by the way? Real quick to the comments section before we really get started here today. But in one of the things, we're going to preview a little bit here of what we've got upcoming, guys. Or actually, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to wait 3 minutes to get into that because I officially said the start of the stream was going to be 6:30 on all my social media handles. So I'm going to try in that essence to respect that. But again, welcome in, guys, and thank you for dropping in. I couldn't wait to start the stream today, guys. I was so excited that I just had to start a little bit early. I'm properly caffeinated. I'm drinking my, your boy might have a caffeine problem. D-rave might be drinking too much espresso every day. Oh, man. And so, it's one of those ones with the Jalen Hurts deal. A little bit of a preview for Joe and Oak. Jalen Hurts sets the market. And basically, like a lot of people are saying, Jalen Hurts signing that contract is the stamp on the other side that the oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. The Deshaun Watson contract was the outlier. Jalen Hurts, who played really well, basically, if he hadn't got hurt, would have had an MVP season. So Jalen Hurts' contract has not, they've leaked, we know what the basic parameters around the deal are. There's been a lot of speculation about the exact numbers, and Over the Cap, which is one of the sources that I use a lot, guys. You'll see it a lot in my videos when I'm covering cap numbers and everything like that. The official Jalen Hurts contract has not been updated, so we're actually still waiting 100% to see how it's structured. But we do know the Bengals getting goats. Man, the Bengals. It's not even fair. Y'all got money. You're going to keep your boy T. It's going to be a hard division. It's kind of funny, though, the trend of Baltimore and the Pittsburgh Steelers both adding 30-plus-year-old wide receivers in DeMarcus Robinson and Odell Beckham Jr., who I think is 31 technically now. But Joe Stevens says in chat, we want to hear Lamar. Lamar's news incoming. Yeah, so guys, I spent a lot of time yesterday breaking down basically knowing the fully guaranteed at signing, fully guaranteed for injury, roster bonuses and stuff like that, we can slightly predict the contract. Now, of course, my contract's going to look a little odd potentially because, one thing on Over the Cap, when I put in the roster signing bonus, full signing at or guaranteed at signing, and it puts the prorated bonus over the years, it does not allow me to move those over the years, but we'll show on some of these other contracts, how they actually do move that. We're going to reference quite a bit here in this start of the video, referencing Lamar before we get into the NFL draft quarterbacks. We're going to be referencing a lot of Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Kyle Murray's, Deshaun Watson's, Patrick Mahomes, as well as a little bit of what we know of the Jalen Hurts contract, essentially. So with that being said, it is 6:31. Thank you everyone who's in here and who's joining us so far for this stream. So of course, today on B-rave with D-rave, we're going to be covering, starting with our preview of a Lamar extension, including a 5-year plan for the cap as well. And this is going to include, drumroll, bringing in my boy also, DeAndre Hopkins from Arizona. We're going to make the room for him as well. And we're still going to have a little bit of room, guys, to make a few more moves. We're going to be pushing high cap numbers in some years, while then in the following years potentially restructuring for a little bit of money. The Bengals might win so in chat, Oak Squirrel, Bengals might finally win a Super Bowl. It's going to be a hard division this year. If we can extend Lamar, bring DeAndre, if we can follow through on my plan, I'm telling you, you ain't taking the division from us, barring injury. I'm sorry. I'm usually pretty skeptical of my Ravens and what they can accomplish, but I am very, very confident. If the Ravens can somehow, in some manner, pull off what I'm attempting to do today, that we will be absolute, we should win the division and be the Super Bowl favorite from the AFC side. Even with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes coming off their win. But, all right, guys. So I also want to give y'all a little bit of a sneak preview of, because I said we've kind of really planned here. I've got really overambitious plans to build or get a team together of small content creators that cover various teams across the NFL. And to try to, ideally, I'm overambitious here. I would love to get 32 small content creators, one for well, technically not 32 because there's me for the Ravens, Joe for the Seahawks. Miami forfeited their first round. The Niners don't have a first round pick, and I believe 2 other teams. So that brings our number somewhere around to 26 or so. But I would love to get approximately 26 other guys and do a live PFF mock draft with one person from every team representing. I'll run as a commissioner and as the Ravens. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to set up rules for trades. We're going to allow this. We're going to have a time on the clock and everything with rules for trades. I would love it, but it's a little overambitious and kind of late to get it started. Ideally, I would love to have this said mock draft on the 26th, the day before the NFL draft. I think it would be huge. I've reached out to a few other small content creators. So in chat, my boy Chimera has dropped in. Chimera's got the wrench because he's an OG. So the wrench, for those on the podcast might not know, that means he's one of my mods here on the channel. Chimera is my resident Bills fan. Plug to Chimera. I think he's wants to get into covering the Bills here in the next year or so, if I'm not mistaken. Chimera, it's been a while. How have you been? If so, definitely check Chimera as well. Plug him. But all right, so so that was something I've got planned, but it's a little over ambitious. Looking over the next few days. Preview. Of course, today we are going to be covering for draft quarterbacks. Tomorrow, on Thursday, around the same time, guys, we're going to be covering wide receivers and tight ends of the 2023 draft class, followed by running backs on Friday, or I should just say offensive line on Saturday, the 22nd. On the Sunday, the 23rd, guys, we're going to cover edge players as well as linebackers in a similar fashion that we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be trying to play some tape and kind of really break it down and highlight what we like, what we don't like, you know, what's overhyped and what's not on the tape, basically. Monday, the 24th, we're going to cover corners and safeties. Followed up with on the 25th, Tuesday, we're going to cover kickers, punters, and defensive tackles. Of course, on Monday night as well, make sure you come in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have our normal Monday night podcast and collab with Joe Stevens over at Seahawks Talk. We're going to be doing one of our final mock drafts together. I think we're going to be going really in depth too with trades and everything. And of course, all of this is going to help just ready me for Monday night, Joe. So I hope you're ready. Oak Squirrel, thanks for dropping in, man. I really appreciate it. With that being said, though, every single day, I'm also going to be trying to bring you guys a little more coverage than just the draft. So, of course, today is the big one, the big elephant in the room, the Lamar contract, the Lamar extension. What are we going to do? Of course, we've said from the get-go, we've talked about him being traded. Of course, we've talked about it's always a sad idea just bringing it up, but we want to keep Lamar. So we're going to try to figure out a way to get this done on a 5-year deal. So with that being said, guys, I also want to preview some of these other topics we're going to cover. So, of course, we're going to have a day. We're going to try to find a home for every free agent. We are going to be previewing that. Actually, I think I'm sorry. I changed that to post-draft. My apologies. We will be doing, of course, a top 5 rework of every position. We're going to be doing talking sleepers and late round stars. We're going to redo the positional big boards. Sorry, I got a lot of this stuff multiple times. Go into my chat real quick. Oh, congrats to Chimera. So Chimera said in my chat he got accepted into his dream college last month. So big congrats to Chimera on that, my guy. I'm happy for you. I've actually I've got a little bit of news in that that regard too. I actually have been thinking about going back to school myself. And with that being said, I'm thinking about going into a sports management or some other like minoring potentially in it. But I'm going back for a few more degrees myself here in the fall. I just got accepted to the college in my area that I want to go to. But for the sickness wise, Chimera, I'm glad you're feeling better. All right. With that, though, it's not like I have a huge crowd waiting for me here, but I'm going to go ahead and get into this. I want to extend Lamar Jackson. And we're going to preview a little bit today on Over the Cap how I'm going to get that done. So, of course, Lamar Jackson right now sitting on the franchise tag, hitting us for a $32.41 million cap hit. Pardon me, I have to find my actual notes because I didn't want to I can't save it. And I wanted to actually show you how I was structuring the contract as I did this. If you're actually able to watch live here on YouTube with me. For those that might be listening on my podcast, come to my YouTube channel. We're approximately 14 minutes in right now, so that's going to be your mark. I'm going to actually make a note myself, 14-minute mark. Hopefully I can go make a chapter. All right. So like I said, we need to extend Lamar. So I have to go to my cap calculator here. We're going to extend / renegotiate, and it says we can save approximately $25 million off this cap hit by extending him. But we'll get into that shortly. Actually, All right. There it is. So, like I said, we want to make this a 5-year deal. I'll include this year. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year deal. In comparison, so apparently the deal to Jalen Hurts was a 5-year, $255 million deal. I'm going to actually pull up one other reference here on my phone to use, guys, in reference. So shout out and plug to a streamer and podcaster much larger than me, but I don't know if she got the real true love on the Pat McAfee podcast that she should have got with Ian Rapport. And that's Sarah Ellison. I believe she does the Vault podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, Sarah, if I messed that up. Yep, the Vault podcast. Really big and cool YouTube person. Trying to find her exact tweet so I don't mess this up. My apologies. Okay. So previously reported, the Lamar deal, because they did 2 different deals. They did a 5-year deal, and when that failed, I think they tried to do a 3-year deal. So the 5-year deal included 175 reported, injury guaranteed. Jalen Hurts has 179.3 million guaranteed for injury in his deal. They said it was 200 million guaranteed for Lamar. Now, part of that was not a full guarantee. They were calling it a springing bonus, but it was essentially in reality a roster bonus is what it was. And that's kind of, I didn't like the wording on how the Ravens did that, to be honest with you. So it was more like 175 million guaranteed, not really 200, but the extra $25 million roster bonus that I'm talking about that they refer to as a springing bonus was fully guaranteed, I believe, after the 2024 year. So as long as Lamar was on the roster this year and next year, basically, he got that money. So it was kind of guaranteed, but kind of not. I can understand Lamar wanting that. But so we're going to actually work in our deal that in as a roster bonus. In regards to being a cap hit, I really wouldn't care too much. I'm going to spread that $25 million as a $8.5 million hit over 3 years. I think exactly how the Ravens had it, probably. And again, I'm not a cap specialist, but I'm trying my hardest to be. So with that being said, the Ravens need to lower the cap hit for this year. You know what I just realized is I need to, hold on, I have to actually, my apologies, I want to set one thing up real quick. So I want to do that. But I need to transform. My apologies, guys. I'm working through a small tech issue real quick. Let's see here. Getting a different one for the free agents. There we go. I need to still transform this. My apologies again. I'm almost done working through this. 700, 750. Hate all the ads. I'm trying to get rid of the ads, to be honest with you, is what I'm trying to do. Right, 1,000, 800, Boom. My apologies. All right. So the whole point of this was to bring up our free agents. Oh my gosh, I just realized too. I think I could have just done that on the calculator. I can later. All right. We'll get to that. Anyway, so what I'm going to tell you guys here, sorry about all the problems there, is that when I'm also doing this contract, I'm trying to layer this for 5 years looking at our free agents, which you're going to see a little bit of how I'm trying to allocate that money. So the first thing is we have to reduce this $32 million cap hit. So like in regards to that, we have stuff like here, the Aaron Rodgers and the other contracts. So that's what I was trying to do, get this bigger. Whatever. Just going to have to deal with commercials. Sorry, guys. Man, I'm so OCD about this. It's driving me nuts. There we go. All right. So with that, I'm going to bring up some of these contracts. So let's bring up Russell Wilson's as an example. We're going to bring up Kyle Murray's and Deshaun Watson's. Gotta love all the frickin' ads. If you can't see right there, the base salary on Russell Wilson after he signed his extension in 2022 was $8 million the first year, $17 million the next year, escalating to 37 all the way up to 50. If we look at some of these other deals, again, Kyle Murray signed his 2022. So the 2023 salary, $2 million, but he got a $13 million prorated bonus. So he got a lot of money, I believe, at the signing. Which is what you're going to see. The prorated bonus is a lot of this money at signing. Supposedly, though, Jalen Hurts, while being a fully guaranteed, got a smaller prorated bonus, which you see actually in some of these deals. So a lot of the deals have about 18 million. Here, like in Russell Wilson's, you have his prorated bonus started at 10 million, went to 14, 18, and then starts dipping down. Of course, Deshaun Watson's is fully guaranteed. Also, every base salary has a matching guaranteed salary number almost, with a ton of prorated bonuses at about 17 million, including one void year, which we're actually going to introduce the option of potentially using a void year in our Lamar contract. So again, the Jalen Hurts deal about similar to Lamar's. The closest one to that is, again, Russell Wilson's. The contract value being $245 million. So again, Lamar was looking at 250. Jalen Hurts got 255. However, the fully guaranteed money of Russell Wilson's is only 124 million, while Jalen Hurts and Lamar are looking for 175 to 200 million. So when we're going over our guaranteed salary and prorated bonuses, which if you look here, so on Russell Wilson's contract, his total prorated bonus is $92 million. His guaranteed salary is $32 million. 32 plus 92, 124. So that equals the fully guaranteed money in his contract. So when we're talking about the fully guaranteed money to Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, I believe that's the number we're looking for. While, of course, the rest of this contract value comes in roster bonuses and, of course, the base salary. So even though we take a look at Deshaun Watson's contract for a little bit of reference, we also acknowledge that it's an outlier, so we throw it out. I really wish we had the exact details of the Jalen Hurts contract, but it's unfortunate. So with that said, we're going to go back to structuring Lamar's. So Lamar, of course, deserves a raise. He has not made a ton of money. Now, with the prorated bonus, this is where it's going to get a little tricky. I believe I allocated $30 million, because I think Jalen's getting only like 29. He's getting a weird number. But of course, there's going to be a lot of guaranteed salary for injury, if I'm not mistaken, and a little bit. And so, as I said, also we're going to introduce the possibility of a void year, so with that we can also move around some of that prorated bonus potentially. So all that money is guaranteed at signing, given to him, but due to cap rules, you are allowed to allocate that over multiple years of the contract, essentially. So, we could bump that number up, however much he kind of wants, 10, 20 million, and throw that on the void year. But I'd like to use the void year for potential other reasons. With that being said, like I said, so looking at these raise 8 million, 17 million, 37 and 18. There's another one I want to look at, the Dan Jones contract. Dan Jones going to a 9.5 million this year, again allowing them some cap flexibility to get the team ready for him, and then going 35, 30, 46. Now, of course, we're going to have to pay more than Dan Jones. Russell Wilson, kind of, I hate to say it, is a pretty similar contract. So going back to that, Lamar deserves a raise somewhere between base salary 9 million and 18 million. We settled on a number of $17.8 million base salary. No non-prorated bonuses. So the non-prorated bonuses is basically what I talked about earlier, your roster bonus. This is the $25 million that they were claiming as a springing bonus, essentially, for Lamar, fully guaranteed at this point in the contract. But we'll go over that. So, of course, the guaranteed salary, we want to make sure Lamar gets his guaranteed. So we're going to guarantee 100% of that salary at $17.8 million. So no matter what, Lamar gets his money. We want to make sure that he is feeling a little more comfortable. So if I'm not mistaken, that means in this year, Lamar would get paid his $30 million plus the 17.8 minimum, meaning he would walk away with $47.8 million for this season. I think that's kind of a fair number. And again, that's going to allow us to go get someone like DeAndre, which we're going to cover here in just a little bit, guys, because I talked about that on my social media. So don't worry, I haven't forgot. Moving into the 2024 year, of course, Lamar deserves a raise. We're going to bump this number to $32.8 million. I don't know why OTC, when I put 32.8, it always defaults it to 32.79999 repeating. I don't know why. It just does it. So $32.78 million. Prorated bonus. And again, it will not allow me to move that $30 million prorated here across the years. But at any point, we could move that money into the void year, into the later years, into the early year, whatever we want to do. So there's a little bit of flexibility in this contract, more so than I'm allowed to show and predict. Again, non-prorated bonus. We're not going to have anything. We expect Lamar to be there, be healthy, playing as everything, whatever. Guaranteed salary, we're going to fully guarantee this season as well. So $32.8 million. And there to get it in. So again, this year, Lamar will, in 2024, Lamar will be making 32.8 or approximately 38 million. Yeah, 38.8 million, including his fully guaranteed salary as well as technically the bonus, but he got paid that the year before. So I guess 32.8. So of course, Lamar still deserves a little more money. He's still not at that number he I think really wants to get at. So 2025, we're going to take a big cap hit. But as we're going to show here in just a little bit, guys, we're ready for it. We're predicting. We already are previewed our free agents, and we're going to go over them here shortly. But so 2025 is going to be the first big hit of this contract. But this is also where this is going to be one of his bigger money years. So $50.8 million base salary. So at that point, he is at a higher base salary, as I'm showing here on screen now, than Russell Wilson will ever get in his entire contract. That's a higher base salary than any time that Kyle Murray's going to get. And as the bonus here, we are also going to fully guarantee that $50.8 million in 2025 for Lamar. As well as we are going to start the roster bonus for him as well. Meaning, this is basically the springing bonus that the Ravens were trying to attach at $25 million. I'm going to split that $25 million over at least 3 years, potentially 4 with that void year. The void year just gives me so much flexibility. I'm usually not a fan of void years, but I think this will work really well. This will allow also Lamar to do what he wants to do possibly at an earlier stage in free agency. I don't think he wants to sign a 10-year mega deal like Patrick Mahomes, even though that deal, can be restructured all kinds of crazy. So again, so in 2025, Lamar's got a big cap hit. Lamar's hitting the cap for $65 million. That's kind of the money Lamar wants. Lamar wants to make that $60 million a year average, essentially. I'm giving Lamar that. I'm also hoping and banking, as the owner and GM of the Ravens, that the cap will continue to increase. However, I'm running my numbers purely off over the cap. And like I said, we'll go over that later. But the reason I'm doing 2025 as a big cap hit is because I need flexibility now, and then I think in 2026. And like I said, we're going to go over that here shortly. So yeah, in 2025, Lamar is going to make guaranteed $50.8 million for salary, plus if we tied the $25 million bonus split over 3 years, basically that means he would be guaranteed, if he's on the roster for that season, really, he would actually get $75 million. He would count as a $65 million cap hit, but in reality, he would get $75 million that season, not including the prorated bonus. Because it says 8.5 there, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm putting 8.5 million as a roster bonus for 2025, 2026, and 2027. And the way that works is I can fully guarantee that if he's on the roster by 2025, but split it over 3 years. To all my viewers, I can't. No, that says 0. Okay, never mind. I thought I had viewers. I thought it said 6. It says 0. Anyway. So as I said, moving on to 2026, we're actually going to drop his cap number. Oh, I have a line drawn through it. I can't tell if that's... Let me pull up my trusty calculator here to make sure my numbers are accurate. 17.8 plus 32.8 plus 50.8 plus 52.8 equals minus 250. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it's not supposed to equal that. I'm trying to read if that's a 46 or 40. I'll know here in a minute. I want to say that's 46.8. So we're going to go to a salary of 46.8 million, I think that is. No, I think it's 40. 40.8. My apologies. Let me double. I had all this written down, and my numbers could probably be a little cleaner. 17.8 plus 32.8 plus 50.8 plus 40.8 plus 52.8 plus 30 plus 25. Yep, okay. So yeah, it's 40.8 million base. So in 2025, his base salary is actually going to go down a little bit because, he balled out in 2025. We made sure he's getting paid. And of course, that 25 million is kind of for 3 years, but we're going to split it over, pay him up front for it. But this will be the first year where his salary is not fully guaranteed at this point. At this point, we are going to still guarantee, though, 20 million of that $40.8 million salary. And the reason I'm doing that is, again, because I'm trying to get his guaranteed salary, especially with injury, to that $200 million number. And we'll just go over those numbers here in just a minute. And in the final year, again, he wants to get paid. We're going to, because we plan in 2026 to lower the cap hit. And so we can have some flexibility. In 2027, it's going to go back up to a $52.8 million salary. So again, the highest of his career. The guaranteed, we're going to guarantee a little more than 20. We're going to guarantee 23 million of that 52.8 million against injury. So even if he gets hurt in 2027 and sits out for injury or whatever, he's still guaranteed at least 23 million of that salary. In this void year, again, it doesn't allow me really to do anything with the void year and over the cap. This void year adds an incredible amount of flexibility to this contract. And just to make sure we got all the numbers right here, we're going to go over this. So guaranteed salary number, we're going to start there. 17.8 million in the first year, 32.8 million the second year, 50.8 million the third year, 20 million the fourth year, and 23 million in the final year. That's 100. Did I mess something up? Plus 30. No, okay, that is right. That's 144 point. I feel like I did. Hold on. 17.8 plus 32.8 plus 50.8 plus 20 plus 23. 144.4. I definitely do. Is it the 0.8s? Did I forget some 0.8s? Yeah, I forgot some 0.8s. So 20.8 and 23.8. Oh my God, 20.8 million. 23.8 million. Okay, sorry about that. So one more time, 17.8 plus 32.8 plus 50.8 plus 20.8 plus 23.8 gives us $146 million. We're also giving him $30 million as a prorated bonus. That brings our total guaranteed with injuries to $176 million, which is approximately what the Ravens offered Lamar previously, not too far off from what Jalen Hurts just got. So, of course, that's just the fully guaranteed. We also, again, offered which he should be on the roster by 2025, $25 million in roster bonuses starting in 2025. That brings the contract value to $201 in basically guarantees. Then if we go to our base salary, 17.8 plus 32.8 plus 50.8 plus 40.8 plus 52.8. That's $195 million. Add the $30 million from the prorated bonus. That brings us to $225 million. Add roster bonus of $25 million, guaranteed at 2025. That brings us to an approximated value total of $250 million. So, and again, 2027, big cap hit, guys. Huge cap hit. Which, again, the void year gives us flexibility. So if we need to move some of this money around in 2025 and 2027, we can. However, I think, as I'm about to show after I submit this transaction to over the cap, we're going to have some moves. I'm going to check chat real quick. I've got something from my viewer, Chimera. I think the question is, will Harbaugh hold Lamar back from his full potential, or is Roman truly the issue? So, Chimera, you know my opinion on Harbaugh. I've got some big critiques of John Harbaugh. In essence, I also put him liable for the hires. I think Todd Monken, though, is an excellent hire, whether Lamar stays or not. I like the hire. We're going to hopefully preview the Monken offense one of these days, guys, as the bonus to the draft coverage. So I think this will be the tell. If he comes in and just we're still bungling some issues, and Monken says something, I could 100% see this is Harbaugh's final year if things go badly. And Monken staying. Monken could potentially take over as head coach as well, but because he's got a lot of head coaching experience. I could see Steve Biscotti liking him, especially like if the players like him. If the wide receivers like him, Biscotti might think about it. But I think Roman was a huge issue, and it was truly hard to evaluate Lamar's tape because, like I said, I have so many issues with Greg Roman. You will not find a single Baltimore person, I think, that will defend Greg Roman at. But yeah, guys, with that said, here is a $175 million guaranteed against injury contract, in essence, with up to $200 million guaranteed as long as Lamar's on the roster after 2024, and with a full value of approximately $250 million. And this gives us a general idea of the cap numbers that we could kind of expect, be looking at. And of course, again, with contracts, there's so much in wording, guys, that the NFL can actually do and move these numbers around better that to say this is an accurate depiction is, maybe a little bit of a leap. But let's submit our transaction. So currently, it says Baltimore has cap space of $3 million. I don't know if that's actually true or not. Let me close some of these contracts. Go to our cap space page here. The Ravens, yeah, $3 million, but effective cap of only $500,000 because we have to have room to sign our draft class. So, oh no, it kicked out the whole deal. No, okay, whew. I was a little scared there for a minute. All right, so with that being said, we have if you can look at the numbers here on the screen right now, the top of the screen here, you'll see in 2023 right now, Baltimore has $3 million in cap. We have $67 million in cap in 2024 and $146 in 2025, $230 in 2026 because we got a lot of stuff to do in 2026. The cap hits for Lamar are going to be as follows. 2023, an approximate cap hit of $23.8 million. 2024, a cap hit of $38.8 million. 2025, a cap hit of $65.3 million. 2026, a decrease to a cap hit of $55.3 million. And finally, in 2027, a cap hit of $67.3 million. But again, we have a void year on the contract that we can't really play with here on OTC. So those numbers could be really moved around and be a little more friendly. With that said, let's make the transaction and watch how our cap numbers move. I want to actually make sure I note it. So 367, 146, 232. Transact. Boom. Instantly, Baltimore goes to an $11 million cap space for this year. Next year, we lose a lot of cap space. So, to give you the numbers for those that aren't able to see my screen, the 2023 cap hit, we have $11 million in cap space, 11 for 2023. 2024, we would have $28 million in cap space. 2025, $80 million, and 2026, $176. But I want DeAndre Hopkins. So I need a little more money still. It's been talked about a lot. I don't like doing it, but I think we have to. And that's the restructures. So with that being said, Ronnie Stanley and Marlon Humphrey have been our constant two people we go to restructures for the Baltimore Ravens. And I think that we can still work out, if I'm not mistaken, what you can essentially do is take a player's base salary and convert it to a fully guaranteed prorated bonus, which then can be allocated again over the remaining years of the contract as well. So with that being said, they're still making basically the same money, but it's just if they're not on the team in like 2 or 3 years, then the dead hit's going to be higher essentially. Um, I'm fully comfortable with moving approximately 7 million or so of Ronnie Stanley and Marlon Humphreys. So with that being said, I don't need those. Ronnie Stanley's base salary is $12.5 million. If we were to restructure that, we're going to take about 11 million of that and restructure it over the life of his contract. With that being said, Baltimore goes from a cap space of 11.6 million to now 19.24 million. But we're not done. We're also going to go to Marlon Humphrey with a base salary of 10.5 million, and we're going to restructure this contract for about, I think when I put 9 million, it puts 9.42. I think that's just how it does it. But we're going to restructure this bad baby as well. And boom, Baltimore now goes from 19.24 million in cap space to 26.4 million in cap space for the 2023 season. We get a little bit of a decrease in the following years, but not terrible. 2024 sees a decrease from 28 to 22, and 2025 sees a decrease from 74 to 80. I'm sorry, from 80 to 74. Not terrible in my opinion. I'm very comfortable with Ronnie Stanley and Marlon Humphrey, 29 and 27 years old, respectively. With that, now Baltimore has $26 million at hopefully before the draft, but potentially after. But hopefully this would all be done in essence before the draft, so I can really go into this draft looking to build this team around Lamar even more. So I love one of the features here on Over the Cap is you can add external players. And so if you look on the right side of my screen, you'll see our current list of free agents from this year. So if you wanted to bring a free agent back, you can actually structure that deal. If you can, just like how I did, work the deal in the number part like I did for Lamar. I'm actually I think to save a little money here. I'll leave Patrick McCarry's alone. I thought about restructuring Patrick McCarry a little bit, but I'll leave his. I actually do want to extend, though, Kevin Zeitler. But there's no money saved right now, so that's not really on the front burner. We'll get that done when we get that done. I think he wants to come back to Baltimore. I love him. I want him back in Baltimore. I want him to continue that legacy of play at right guard for Baltimore, left by Marshall Yanda. Love Yanda. And potentially maybe groom the next right guard for the Baltimore Ravens. But with that said, you can actually add players. So let's look them up. DeAndre, my boy DeAndre Hopkins. So what's cool is it already has, when you add an external player from another team in this, it already has the contract. So I'm bringing him. I think he would be open to restructuring this contract. So again, we could free up a little room potentially on because his base salary is $19 million in 2023, $14 million in 2024. So honestly, I'm comfortable paying DeAndre 19 this year and 14 next year. I think that's great. From what I've seen, he is not really seeking a new deal, which I thought he would be, because DeAndre Hopkins' contract, from my understanding, has weird clauses in it related to like receptions, touchdowns, which I don't think he's on line to meet. But looking at the average pay for wide receivers, case in point, Odell, getting like I think 11 million, 15 million, somewhere in that range. The 14 million based salary is still pretty good. And I mean, I don't know. I'd be willing to work some deal out to move some of that around potentially in 2024, so we can maybe get some extensions done early on some players, and maybe add some year or guarantee some of that money. I would not mind that at all. Again, a lot of stuff, but we're just going to straight add him as flat cap hits of 19 and 14 million respectively. And there it is. Now, at this point, the Baltimore Ravens have DeAndre Hopkins for the next 2 years. We have Lamar Jackson for the next 5 years. I'm going to restructure the Patrick McCarry contract just to get a little bit of money here. Patrick McCarry has been our swing offensive line player for years. I called at the beginning of camp that he was going to fill the old role that James Hurst used to, basically filling every hole on the line a little bit. I called Ben Powers was going to win the left guard spot. I got called crazy on Baltimore Raven forums for saying that McCarry was a swing guy playing a little bit of everywhere, and he was going to sign. If you look at the contract he signed, it's similar to the contract Hurst signed a long time ago, and just kind of was our perennial sixth man off the bench, basically, to use a basketball term. But so yeah, we're going to restructure Patrick McCarry's contract too here to free up a little more money this year. Nah, we don't have to, because I want to keep that money for next year a little bit more. But with that, we've got DeAndre, we've got Odell, we've got Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, J.K. Dobbins, and Gus Edwards, and Devin Duvernay. We are good, and we've got a draft ahead of us. So in regards, though, to getting DeAndre, I would believe the trade would encompass potentially Tyus Bowser. So with that being said, I forgot. That's the part I forgot. I almost forgot. I am including Tyus Bowser in a trade to the Arizona Cardinals. I like the dude. I think he's a great guy. He's 28 years old, 6 years under his belt. Pretty good pass rusher, really good in coverage, actually. I think he would actually succeed more as a 4-3 linebacker than a 3-4, but that's my opinion. But he's going to be a trade. So hopefully we can save there. So if we trade Tyus Bowser, that saves us $4.5 million this year and in the future. So now, after signing, let me say this real quick. After getting DeAndre, we have approximately $8 million in cap space this year. That's still a good amount to go sign a few veteran deals, and sign our draft class. However, I still want some more money. And 2024, that leaves us at $7 million cap space, a little less than this year would be, and then 74 in 2025. Now, when I make the trade for Tyus Bowser, in a post-June trade probably is what it's going to be. Submit that. We now have $12.4 million in cap space this year, $12.9 in 2024, and then $74 million in 2025. So now again, Baltimore has Odell, DeAndre, and we've still got cap space. I believe approximately $3 million of that will be needed for the draft class, leaving us approximately $9.4 million to still go make some free agent deals. Honestly, we could have potentially bring back Marcus Peters at that point. I don't know if he's not getting a good market. If he's not getting a good market, we previewed in the our State of the Ravens GM video we did earlier in the year, bringing back Marcus Peters around a $9 million an average salary. If the market's not good for him and we could get him back at $5 million, but of course a lower cap hit this year and next year potentially, hey. But at this point, the draft class, let me see if I can find my graphic on that. My apologies. I've got so many pages of notes. I really need to find a way to organize my notes better. There it is. Okay. So in this draft class, it's widely speculated on a margin level, essentially. Of course, Edge receives the highest grade of a +5. And so this is basically comparing the 2023 draft class versus the 2015 through 2022 draft classes. And this is from PFF. Cornerback depth, approximately the same. Wide receiver depth, -1. So essentially, I think what they're saying is after the first round, some of these guys, I've heard from a lot of Yeah, and Joe, like Joe said, make sure to hit that like button. I've heard from a lot of GMs that the after other than Jackson Smith Njiba or whatever his name is from Ohio State, there's really not a true first round like in the past drafts like some of these guys. Um, that's widely debatable though. There's quite a few good wide receivers in this draft, but I think after the first run or two on wide receivers, I think the depth drops off. Cornerback. So I could widely see Baltimore taking a first round corner at this point in the draft if everything goes exactly as I'm talking about, guys. Because at this point, we've got DeAndre for 2 years, we've got Odell for 1 year, Bateman, Duvernay, and then of course we can still hopefully find maybe some other. We still got to figure out though. I definitely could see Baltimore potentially trying to trade back and require 2 second-round picks this year, and maybe some later depth round picks. Um, but I think this is a great plan. But continuing forward, so at this point we've got $12 million to sign some free agents. We could bring back Marcus Peters, but also going with a first-round corner in the draft would really solidify our secondary. I would much rather, I think, see an edge rusher brought in because for the edge market right now in free agency, there's not that great, and a lot of these guys are veterans who are going to be like the second to third wave of free agents, essentially. So I would much rather, because I mean, we have. I guess I shouldn't say edge rusher because we have Ojabo and Owe, and I really want to have faith in Owe. Ojabo, I've got tons of faith in, but yeah, I would love to see Baltimore basically trade back into the second round, use the first second round pick, I think, on a corner. Basically, someone that was slipping from the first round. At that point, after the draft, address a little bit of D line, bring in maybe another wide receiver, like someone if Jalen Hyatt's sitting there like third, fourth round, absolutely take him. But Baltimore needs more picks. We only have 5 picks currently, guys, and that's just not going to get it done. So again, the reason I was saying though we need some money. So I'm going to leave that $12.4 million alone. I'm not going to touch it for any more contracts right now. I like our roster at this point with bringing DeAndre and signing Lamar to the 5-year extension. The $12.4 million, I would rather basically keep it as 1-year deals if I can. So maybe we bring back someone like Justin Houston on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. I think is kind of what he was doing this past year. Even with a $3 million draft class, which would be reduced without having a first round pick potentially, that still would leave us $6 million. So we could still go get possibly like 2 to 3 more guys just like that or more without really affecting the cap in the future years. So though, looking at that though, we can see our 2023 free agents. Good on that. I mean, dude, Kyle Fuller, I think he played on a $1.5 million deal, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check it on it. Yeah, so $2.5 million. I am 100% comfortable bringing him back on a $2.5 million deal. Boom. Now our cornerbacks would be Kyle Fuller, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, Pepe, oh my God, Jalen Armour Smith, and then having our safeties as Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton. Oh, ecstatic about that, and then of course, like I said, bringing in a very high draft pick as well into that secondary, and then hopefully filling up some edge rushers later in the draft. But because edge is supposed to be one of the deepest positions at this draft, so I would love to load up and find 2 more edge rushers to start grooming behind Owe and Ojabo a little bit, just to give us a lot of depth. Of course, we're going to be looking for edge rushers that can also play like a 3 technique, someone that can kind of fill the hole of Calais Campbell. So going into this year, defensive line wise, it's going to be Matabike, Michael Pierce. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to find his name here so I don't mess it up. Travis Jones, because I always call him something else, and Broderick Washington. I'm extremely excited about. That is other than Michael Pierce, that is an extremely young D line. However, as we can see here, they're part of our 2024 thing. So why we stressed making sure that we have a little bit more money in 2024, we might be letting one of these really talented defensive linemen go, which is why we might have to find one in this draft. Chimeran Chat is my Bills fan. He says, imagine all this and you still lose to the Bengals. I would cry. I would cry on air. Let's just say that. But this is why I'm saying, guys, if everything goes like I would, if somehow Lamar Jackson, I tweeted at him a few times, if Lamar Jackson could see this, sign a deal similar to this, be like, hey, just get the deal done like you did, guys. Love it. And we'd make the deal. So with DeAndre, we'd have to trade Tyus Bowser, and potentially something else. Let's see if we can find it here. So they're looking for a similar package to what the Texans got, a second rounder plus something else of value. The something else of value or the second rounder could basically be Tyus Bowser. He's played pretty well. So maybe this is like Tyus Bowser and I forgot we even signed Nelson Aguilar. Add that to, again, the depth of our wide receiver core and probably why Baltimore wouldn't really have to attack it at certain points. Trying to think here. Maybe like James Prochet. James Prochet and Tyus Bowser. There we go. Where's Prochet? I like Prochet. I think he deserves a shot to go somewhere else and play. So I got to go to my 2023 because he's still on the team. It actually is a negative. So maybe I can't. Who would they like? I don't know if we have anything else they would really want. They want Ben Cleveland to step up. He has not been stepping up. He could be a potential move. Carey might be sliding into left guard, but I predict Cleveland to be in a competition with him, and I want Ben Cleveland to win that job. Yeah, I'm going to guess maybe Prochet, even if it is a $1 million. There's no way he has a trade clause. So we'll leave it as is, but Baltimore could save $1 million. I could predict Tyus Bowser and James Prochet in the trade, giving them a wide receiver and a good outside linebacker. And maybe we swap some picks. I don't think we have any picks that would work in their advantage in that regard. But so again, looking at our 2024 free agents at this point, Patrick Queen's probably going to be walking out of the room. It's sad, but with the signing of Roquan, it was kind of predicted, especially with keeping Lamar. Devin Duvernay, we're either going to have to get a deal done with him or he could potentially walk. Matabike might play his way into a really big contract. Broderick Washington could as well. J.K. Dobbins could be heading for a big contract. Prochet's on his way out of the building. Other than that, not a ton of big names. So basically, we got James Prochet and Devin Duvernay that year in 2024. And that's, again, why we need some money. So maybe we can do a rollover of this cap money to 2024 to help sign some of these guys longer term. We could work out the extensions now, potentially, as well with some of these players. Like Matabike, if we could work a good deal with him, it would save us 1 million this year, but I don't know really what that extension would look like, guys. So that's the only reason I didn't really do that, is because I think there's no way for me to predict Matabike's contract, Broderick Washington's contract, J.K. Dobbins' contract. Um, I know Patrick Queen's going to probably play himself out of the building, and Devin Duvernay might play himself out of the building too. Maybe we can bring back Duvernay though, but I feel like he would probably want to take his opportunity elsewhere because if at that point with Odell, I mean, and actually, man, I don't want to, but that's the trade. I'm sorry, Ravens Nation. I don't like it, but it's not Prochet, it's Duvernay. It's Duvernay and Bowser. Because as much it breaks my heart, Bateman's a first-round pick. He's on the team for the next 4 or 5 years. DeAndre would be on the team for the next 2 years. Odell's here for 1 year. We signed Nelson Aguilar. There's, and we might be running closer to an air raid power, an air raid power run offense, essentially, with Todd Monken as our offensive coordinator. However, would there be enough snaps to go around? And then if we draft another wide receiver, Tylan Wallace and Prochet would still be on. And we actually just signed another smaller free agent just earlier today. So with snaps to go around, Duvernay would get a really good opportunity in Arizona with his boy Marquise. And, if Kyle Murray balls out, 2 smaller guys, so they might not want him, but it's just, I think that's good compensation for the trade. Let me see if I was to end up trading Duvernay as well. Might be like 4 million. Either way, like I said though. So 2024, we've got a couple free agents, but it's not terrible. And if you remember correctly, our cap hits. Of course, I only put the total numbers. But we had a pretty low 2024 number. So that leaves us a pretty amount of flexibility to work here. 2025 free agents. So Tyus Bowser is already going to be traded. Morgan Moses is on the free agents for 2025. Which is going to be Lamar's first really high cap hit year. Whatever. Patrick Ricard, we can work a deal out with that. And again, like looking at our cap money for 2025, it says we have $74 million at that point. If you're looking at my screen, again, Rashad Bateman will be eligible potentially at that year, I think. Odafe Owe, Patrick McCary, which he's kind of a backup anyway, and Morgan Moses at this point would be a lot older. So we'd probably be looking to hopefully in the next 2 years build those positions. Owe, we're waiting to see if Owe really becomes the star or not. So that's a big question mark. Brandon Stevens, kind of a depth player. We want him to blossom. Again, Bateman, we're waiting to see. I want Bateman to be that guy. And of course, probably most of that money in 2025 would be going to him if we had to. Ben Cleveland, Justice Hill, Tylan Wallace, Dalen Hayes, Josh Ross. So as you can see in 2025, the reason we're going with that higher cap hit number is because, again, I'm looking at my free agents and going, yeah, I got to pay like 1 or 2 guys, but like I feel like I'm still pretty good. So the reason we did this is because if you notice when we did our Lamar deal in 2026, our cap number is going to drop in 2026. The reason we do this is because look at our free agents. Mark Andrews, Tyler Lindenbaum, Ronnie Stanley, Kyle Hamilton, Isaiah Likely, Travis Jones, plus David Ojabo and a whole depth of corners. That draft class might be a lot to bring back. And that's why in that year, I'm trying to lower Lamar's number a little bit, because that's where we might have to really kind of possibly do some retooling potentially and, really work with a lot of stuff. But I would be very confident the lower cap hit in 2026 would allow us to get a lot of these guys back on long-term deals. which essentially would hopefully set Lamar up for a very successful 2-year Super Bowl run at the end of his contract to make him look really good, to either get his next contract with the Ravens or, of course, move on. And again, the void year in Lamar's contract, which would become in 2028, I believe, would give us a lot of flexibility. Let's see here. And then, of course, 2027, we have Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Williams coming back. So hopefully, again, we would be able to use 2025's year to do enough cap-friendly numbers that we could either work Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Williams. But at this point, you know, Marlon Humphrey and would be, because he's 27 now. So in 2027, Marlon would be 31 and Marcus Williams would be 31. So they might not be hitting those $19 million cap hits, might be going to more cap-friendly deals. You know, and I'm sure I'm missing other players. And, you know, of course, 2024 deals, if signed as 3-year deals, will be coming up in the 2027 year. So, you know, maybe if we sign guys like Matabike, Washington, you know, some of these other guys to deals in 2024 that are pretty decent, and then they play all-star level, they would have the potential to hit the market in 2027. Which, again, hopefully we would have the money to work them all out. But that's my plan for Lamar, guys. For anyone that's in so far, I really hope you enjoyed all of it. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is my basic plan for Lamar without any other free agents, without really working a lot of extensions. Like I said, in 2026, we're going to be pushing a lot of that money. You know, I wish I could do these deals. That would take a good amount of work. Mark Andrews probably not, you know, he might sign something close to what he signed now. Let me just look. If I can do this easy, I might do it, but let's see. You know what? Let's do this. So let's sign Mark Andrews to a extend 3-year, $15 million, 7.5, 7, 7, 4 mil. Transact. All right, so in 2026, I just signed Mark Andrews to like a 3-year, kind of similar. I basically took the 3 highest years on the back end of his contract and gave it to him again as a 3-year deal, which I think would be more than fair. Linderbaum would definitely be one of the harder ones. Why does it say I can't? Oh, because why can't I resign? Oh, because I restructured probably. Could I do it here? I guess it won't let me if I do more than one thing with them. But of course, as you can see right here in 2026, our roster is pretty bare. So we're going to have a lot more players. We're going to have first-round picks. So this number is not 100% accurate, but it can give us a little more. So Chimera in chat said, do you think the Ravens will actually follow through with something like this? I mean, from my understanding, a deal similar to what I've done here on the channel, guys, was done already. You know, Lamar refused it. Basically, I think with the NFLPA basically in his ear saying, no, Deshaun Watson's contract. Which, of course, the Jalen Hurts contract, as I mentioned earlier, kind of is now the more showing that Watson's was the outlier. And this is kind of what you can expect. And again, as we showed earlier on when I worked that contract for Lamar, we have a void year that I basically could do nothing with in OTC. So that really gives us a lot of flexibility to, you know, like case in point, I would not mind throwing an extra 10 to 20 million on that void year as a prorated bonus to up his total signing bonus a little more. And if I did that, for example, technically, if I gave him 25 million as a prorated bonus on the void year, or 10 million and a 10 million, 12.5 and 12.5 guaranteed and prorated bonus on the void year, that without roster bonuses would guarantee him, fully guaranteed with injury, $225 million. With the roster bonus, $250 million, and bringing the total contract value to $275 million. I would be more than okay with that contract, and I think the Ravens would be too. And the thing is, until Lamar signs that deal, it's a lot harder to get DeAndre. Like, you can get it done because at this point the league year has started, so you're allowed to go over the cap without a lot of problems. It's just, we have to be back under the cap by next year, and I don't want to play this game of franchise tags. Baltimore doesn't either. Lamar wants to slightly because he wants to be making close to that $60 million a year average. And again, in my contract, there's 2 years where he's balling out. He's hitting the cap for over $60 million. And in 1 year, because he gets the roster bonuses all guaranteed in 1 year, but it's split over 3 years, he makes like $75 million in the 3rd year of that contract that I laid out. I don't know why Lamar wouldn't be happy with that. I think the Ravens would be more than happy with that. And as I just showed here on the channel, guys, I think we can lay out a really good long-term plan with that in mind. And again, that allows Lamar to hit the market at what, 2027, right? I believe so. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So, I'm sorry, 2028 he would hit the free agent market. But he has a void year. And again, maybe he's not on the team. Maybe he goes early. The cap hit at that point, with the void year, we might be able to kind of move the money around. But the final, if let's say, God forbid, he was released or cut, traded in the 2020, so he's allowed to hit in 2027, which is approximately when he wants to be hitting the market to get his max value, supposedly. With that, Baltimore would take a cap hit without the void year worked into it over 1 year, only 23, 31, 37.5. So they take 1 year of an Aaron Rodgers hit, which they could split over 2 years, which if you're moving on from your quarterback, that's not terrible. It's kind of what we had to go through Joe Flacco, but I don't think as bad. I really wish the Ravens would listen to me. I want to let it be known once again, I have tried reaching out to the Baltimore Ravens multiple times to the employment part in regards to scouting, because it says directly on there that the Baltimore Ravens do not have an official program or internship for the scouting department, as well as like 2 other departments. And that all inquiries related to those 3 fields should be directed to blank, which of course I messaged blank. I sent an email to blank. Blank messaged me with a generic response. I emailed blank again. It's basically stating, hey, that's cool and all, but what I'm referring to actually says to refer to y'all directly. There is nothing on the page, so may I please get some more information on it? And of course, I haven't heard anything back since, which is sad, because I want to work for the Baltimore Ravens, and I think we could get this deal done. I don't know why Lamar wouldn't want to get this deal done. I think it's more than fair. I'm guaranteeing a lot of money to him. And like I said, even if he's not on the team, he's guaranteed money every single year from the Ravens for the next 5 years, at least $20 million every year, basically. I wish we would, Chimera. I really wish. Like I said, I tweeted a few times at Lamar before I started this broadcast. I doubt Lamar's ever going to come in and watch me, but I wish he would. I wish he would. It's also, one of the ones. Like I said, I've started the process of getting my license to be a sports agent in Florida. However, to represent an NFL player takes like basically a master's degree or a law degree, basically. So I think he might be able to do a bachelor's in a law field, um, or like 17 years of proven negotiating experience and all this stuff. The only way I could ever become an NFL agent without, of course, getting my master's probably would be if Lamar basically told the NFLPA to make an exemption for me. And I could sit down with the Ravens and work this deal out with Lamar and the Ravens. It's just funny, too, because I live in Florida, guys. I'm probably 2 hours away from wherever Lamar's staying in Florida right now. I actually was trying to get oh man, I should try to do it this year. It's probably too late again. I wanted to do basically a Run Rich Run, which is the run they do for St. Jude's Hospital. I wanted to last year and I forgot till now, and now of course there's no way I'll be able to organize it all in time. But I wanted to do a Run Rich Run event here in Florida because there are so many players. Sammy Watkins actually was down here last year, I think, technically in the area. B-rave with Chimera says in chat, B-rave with D-rave, episode 52 featuring Lamar Jackson. Oh, wouldn't that be the dream, guys? Chimera, I don't know if I ever told you this. Of course, Marlon Humphrey apparently has a big interest in podcasting. Studio 44 shout out. I shot my shot with Marlon Humphrey. I was like, hey man, I know there's no chance. I'm a tiny, content creator for the Baltimore Ravens. There's no way Lamar or Marlon Humphrey would ever drop in my chat. But, there ain't no harm in trying, right? But yeah, I recently came up with the name today, B-rave with D-rave, as trying to go with my new slogan here, guys. But for all my new viewers, thanks for dropping in, liking, subscribe. Let me know who your team is. We just finished covering, if you're late, the extension of Lamar Jackson, the acquiring of DeAndre Hopkins, including a trade of potentially Tyus Bowser and maybe Devin Duvernay, restructures of Ronnie Stanley and Marlon Humphrey, which will ultimately still leave the Ravens with $12 million in cap space for free agents this season. Of course, so we could bring guys back like Kyle Fuller and Justice Houston, as well as maybe some other smaller free agents. And also, like I said, we set up our 5-year plan because we signed Lamar to a 5-year deal with 1-year void in it. While also kind of looking at here our free agents for the next 5 years as well, and trying to make sure we layered the Lamar contract in a way that it goes up and down. So in 2025, it would be at its highest amount, or a second highest amount. Technically, in 2027, it would be its highest. But in 2025, he would be getting a lot of money, because his $50.8 million salary would be fully guaranteed in 2025. I'm willing to give Lamar approximately 200 to 225 million with a full value of approximately $275 million for the contract in full value. So I'm willing to go even a little higher than Jalen Hurts, but the Saints. So the Saints have $11 million in cap space right now. Go to the calculator. I like the calculator version. Oh my God, guys. The Saints have negative $42 million next year. That is horrifying. Why? What the? Usually, all right, let's see. Dead money. Ooh, that's a good bit of dead money. I wish it would give me the dead money for 2024. That is horrifying, Saints fans. I am sorry. But dude, like I said, guys, I would be ecstatic if the Ravens and Lamar or anyone would listen to me and follow through on this. I think this is a concrete plan that not only secures Baltimore's future for the next years, but also makes Lamar a very handsomely paid young man. And this gives me faith for the next 5 years, and no doubt. Like, no doubt. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut out that part. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get ready here. If you just give me a moment, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and also make a note here at 1 hour and 25 minutes in, guys. We are going to make the official change to covering quarterbacks of the 2023 NFL Draft. We are going to cover potentially up to 10 quarterbacks today. If I have anybody in chat, shout out. Let me know, who would you like me to really start with? If you've got a guy you want to watch. Who that broke? So Chimera in chat dropped a comment, says, who that broke? I love it. I love it. And Lamar, if you ever see this and the Ravens didn't actually offer you that deal, fight for me to be your agent. I'll make sure I'll get something done with the Ravens. I'll make sure you get paid, young man. Like, hey, yo, I shot my shot with Lamar too. I'm like, yo, you want to come on too and lay the facts straight? Like, the problem is none of us know, like, what the real story is. And he keeps, like, kind of leaking stuff a little bit, but, bro, if you were that angry about, like, back and forth lying, you know what I'm saying? I'd have gone on a podcast and just laid it out straight and be like, nah, they capping, son. They capping. All that's cap, you know what I'm saying? But, let's cover 11. Is that Hendon? I gotta go find my channel. I found a channel I kind of like, guys. They have all the tape, basically, on all the quarterbacks of this draft so far. And they have, like, a ton of different games. It's not Hendon. Who is number 11? Number 11 can be a few different things, technically, for me. Because according to my notes. Yeah, and if you want to come in tomorrow, guys, we're going to be covering wide receivers, tight ends, as well as potentially... trying to get my list here. A preview, potentially, of the Todd Monken offense is what I would like to do. Oh, Josie said, let's cover 11. I'm like, who is number 11 in this draft class? He was joking with me. He said, let's cover 11. Actually, on my list, I do have more than 10 quarterbacks, but... yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. So, Chimera, I don't know if we heard, I talked a little bit about this with Joe the other day. Bryce Young canceled all his remaining pre-draft visits. He had a visit with the Bears. He had a visit with, oh no, I'm sorry, not the Bears. He had a visit with the Texans. He had a visit with the Panthers, and he had a visit with the Raiders. That's the only 3 draft visits he's had, and then he canceled his remaining, meaning he's going 1 of 3. I wonder. I've got to look at something here, guys, because it just entered my brain. So, hypothetically, what if Carolina was comfortable actually trading this first-round pick and it was all a smokescreen? Like, because there's been a little speculation about 1 and 2 potentially being traded. I don't know how true it is, but the number 7 Las Vegas pick kind of, like, makes me pause a little bit. Because I could see Vegas being dumb and making a move. Yeah, we'll start with Stroud, though. Let me see here. I want to look at one stat line here for CJ Stroud before I pull his game tapes up. we're going to cover 2 to 3 different games for each quarterback to truly get an idea of who they are. I've mentioned here a little bit on the channel when I've done a little bit of my preview and my study here on quarterbacks. I've got notes later here for the films. When I studied Stroud and Richardson specifically. It's Richardson. Oh, I'm sorry. Richardson, Levis, and Stroud. Georgia. They all played the University of Georgia, basically. So it was actually really easy to use the University of Georgia's defense as a flat stat line for a lot of these quarterbacks. Will Levis played Georgia in 2021, so a slight difference in the team, but still a national championship team, as we know. I want to see game log. I'm trying to get the Q. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that QBR rating. All right, so we know what happened in the University of Georgia game. So UGA games, of course, going to be number 1, and I've already got a little preview of that film. So that was a 94.1. Let's see. I want to find his worst game of the season. Looks like C.J. Stroud's worst quarterback rating of the season. Wow, it came against Northwestern. 10 of 26 for 76 yards. So we're going to have to take a look at the NU game if we can. And then I want to see a middle of the pack game. So a high of 94. Let's pull the handy dandy calculator up. 94.1 plus 69.6 divided by 2. We're looking for a QBR of approximately 81.85. There we go. A good game. It looks like against the Hoosiers, I believe. Yep, Indiana Hoosiers. So IU. All right, so that's our 3 games for the tape. Let's find our boy C.J. Stroud. Oh, they don't have something. Okay, they do. We're going to start with the Georgia tape because I've already seen it. It's impressive. It's really impressive. Let me get this transform, fit to screen. Beautiful. Let's not stop on that, though, so I don't get copyrighted. All right, man. I wonder if I can mirror this transform. Beautiful. So I'm going to flip the film coverage, so I'm hopefully not blocking the view of C.J. Stroud. So this is going to be... Actually, I need one more thing here before I do this. I need my stats back. Game log. Movement. All right. So in this game, C.J. Stroud is 23 of 34, 348 yards, with a 67.6 completion rating, 4 touchdowns, 4 sacks. Unfortunately, loses the game 42 to 41. This was a rough game. Let's say that. Like, Buckeye fans, I know, were extremely disappointed. But it is what it is. But this, in my opinion, I've never really been a big Ohio State quarterback guy, especially when Urban Meyer was the quarterback up or the coach up there in Ohio State. Shout out to Ohio State, too. I lived in Grove City for a long time. I've still got some Buckeyes myself, so if you've never seen a Buckeye, it looks like a giant nut. They're pretty cool, actually. But anyway, this tape solidified in my mind how good this kid could be and why he deserves to be one of either the first or second overall pick. I am a big believer. You've got Young and Stroud 1 and 2. I think there is a large drop off after those two in the quarterbacks. I do not really think any other quarterbacks should be in the top 5. I think Richardson as well as Levis have potential for mid to late round first round picks. Just because a lot of teams like to get the 5th-year option on those guys. However, like I said, I don't think they're top 5 picks, but in this day and age, we could really see a huge run on the quarterbacks early. All right, so let's watch. We got and I love this because it shows all the throws in order here, guys. So 1st and 15, first throw of the game, coming out throwing. I'm going to wind back. I like to see everything. So shotgun set here, halfback on the left side. We had a motion on the left side as well. 2022 Ohio State roster. So I'm also trying to pull up my roster for the Buckeyes for 2022 so that I can also make sure I get all of their numbers correct as well. So apologize on that for a moment. So of course, here we go. They've got kind of like 3 on the line here. Definitely probably playing like this big kind of nickel. 4 guys coming. So 4 against 5. You got 1 guy kind of spying or assigned to the halfback here. Stroud looking across the middle of the field. And you're going to see Stroud really use his eyes a lot. Another great channel, guys, Kurt Warner runs a channel where he does all of this, the same thing where he talks about these quarterbacks a little bit. I'll drop that at the end of the stream. So looks more left, delivers a good ball right on the numbers. Easy throw, good timing throw. Nothing like really impressive, but the ball's where it was supposed to be. It wasn't down here. It was right where it was supposed to be. All right, 2nd and 7, 14 minutes on the clock here. We're coming for the second throw here. Looking right. Whew. Now, that seemed like more like a miscommunication to me than a bad throw. It looks like that guy, even if he curled, maybe he was supposed to drift out or it was an option route, but the ball was delivered on a line to the outside, where his guy probably was supposed to be. So I'm not knocking him for that throw. So here we go. Looks like, again, 4 men coming for Georgia. Got 3 wide on the right. This kind of like guy, like a robber, dropping out. CJ Stroud pressured, and he takes his first sack of the game. Here we are again. Deep pocket throw, and look at that delivery. Let's wind that back a little bit. So CJ Stroud at this point is standing on his own 24-yard line on this throw. Drops back, kind of like fakes a roll to the right a little bit. Just trying to get these guys to open up and help his O-line. You can see number 10 here for Georgia behind my head watching the quarterback. But he's just going to set this up. So when he gets ready to throw this ball, he is standing back foot on his 18-yard line. Delivers. And I mean, guys, I don't know if you can really see the spiral on that ball is so beautiful. I think actually, because now I should just unflip it. Yeah, right there. No, I should keep it flipped. Flip. Chimera in chat, gonna drop out for dinner. Thanks for dropping in, Chimera. Appreciate it. You've always been here, man. But so again, he was back foot was on his own 18-yard line. This ball is delivered on a dot to the 48. That's a strike, ladies and gentlemen. That is a strike. That's a 34-yard throw approximately on a dime. Beautiful. That's what you love to see. Right in the soft spot of the zone. So here we are again. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a bigger protection package. Trying to give Stroud some time here. Quick little throw across the middle. Great job stepping up and hitting that guy. Let's watch that again. So here's the deep throw. The screen is backwards. I'm trying to make sure my head's not covering CJ Stroud. I'm hoping it helps a little bit. And also, is it like really messed up now or like... Oh, so left and right probably aren't the same on your screen now that I think about it. Because if he throws right, that would be, man, that's rough. I guess y'all just going to have to know. If you're watching, I flip my screen so you can actually watch Stroud because my head, where my camera positioning is, I can't really move too much. I'd have to come all the way out of my view. Yeah, I'm having to mirror everything. So if you hear me say it's left and it's right on my screen, I've got everything mirrored as well. I don't know if that helps with DMCA as well. But so I want you to watch this. So play action. He's making his read. Eyes over the middle of the field. Still reading. He sees the pressure coming up the middle here. 1, 2, 3 guys, basically. Against his 2. Knows he has to do a little bit of movement. And finds his guy coming all the way across. Hits him in stride. Beautiful throw. Here's a 2nd and 7. Trying to buy some time. Telling his man to go deep. Deep ball and delivers it. Like, great touch on that throw, too. If you're watching, I mean, just, like I said, this guy shows on tape why he is a top 2 pick, if not the first overall pick in this draft. I mean, watch his footwork here. 1, 2, 3. Step, hinge. Turns back, looks. Footwork set. Look at the knees. Look at the feet. Bounces back a little. On his tip toes, but still got his legs underneath him. Sees the guy branching off. His feet, he keeps his legs underneath him. It just doesn't look unnatural when he's rolling out. It looks like he's always ready to throw. And here's the throw. Leaving his feet a little bit. So a little bit of untraditional, but that's showcasing the arm talent. Ball's up in the air. And again, this ball is... He's standing on his own 40, or no, not his own 40, I'm sorry. Georgia's 40 when he lets this ball go. And it's probably about 3 yards. So that's about probably a 43-yard throw, ladies and gentlemen, rolling out of the pocket on a dime with a defender on the back corner of his wide receiver. Again, like, my God, that's what you're looking for. Like, and it's not like, his receivers are having to go up and really beat the defender and make this catch. And it's not like the defender's nowhere near. The defenders are in the hip pocket. It's just a well-placed ball. And that's what I love, man. Like, and that's on Joe. He steps up. He rolls. He's not a runner. He is not a runner. Like, here we go again. Little sweep. Easy screen play. A little high on the throw to his wide receiver, halfback out on that like little swing screen route. But makes a good catch, and he's got plenty of time to make him play. So here we are where he's going to roll out. Another, again, just quick throw. I think Georgia was starting to bring some pressure. So Ohio State responding with a quicker passing, scheme. And again, I'm highlighting here, if you can see, guys, the placement of this ball is beautiful. So Stroud is rolling out to his left on this play. I know it's mirrored. He's rolling out to his left. So that's not a normal throwing motion for a quarterback. It's a little awkward. Look at the placement of this ball. Up high, face mask, not too far ahead, not too far behind. A perfect ball for his guy to turn and go. And let's watch. Turn, hurdle a man. Well, number 8 looked a little slow in my opinion. I don't know if he was the fullback for them. Who's number 8? I feel like he's probably a full tight end. 255 tight end. Number 8 need to get a little speed in his boots. But still 7-7 game here. 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Boom. Delivers a ball on that slant route. Like, again, I haven't seen a bad throw yet against the best defense in the country. And that's when you want your guys to deliver in big games. So here we are, a little roll, sees the guy, knows he can't roll, stops, and starts to step up, delivers a strike. And this is something I love. So if you watch this, I'm going to play it back like 2 or 3 times. His guys stop, like just like a little curl, probably sees his guys in trouble and just stops. Instead of throwing the ball to the outside, which is normally what you do, he sees the defender on him and throws this ball back inside, in my opinion. Because the defender is leveraged just slightly to the outside here. So he puts the ball back inside to the hash here, which gives his guy a chance to make a move, which he does. Lucky on this fumble, too, I think. All right. But 7-7, second half, 13 minutes, or second quarter, I'm sorry. Got a little bit of run here. That's the runs I don't like to see. That run, I don't want to see. I don't want to see it. I don't care. I don't want to see it, really. I want it only there if like they fake the play action and it is so open that it's ridiculous. If not, I don't want to see that run. Sorry. Looking left. Had a man. Probably could have had a shot for that ball. Not a great ball, not a bad ball. That's probably like the most meh ball I've seen from Stroud so far. And we're in the second quarter. Rolling out to his left and delivers a little too far. I don't know if they actually gave him the touchdown. It looks like they did, or they scored. A little bit, but rolling left, that can sometimes be a little bit hard to throw. I'm not going to fault the kid for that. That's probably the worst throw we've seen so far in this game. 14-7 game, Ohio State. Pressure by Georgia, making a man miss. And let's go back at it again. I'm sorry. Watch this throw. This was an awkward throw. All right, so off the rip, 4 men on the line for Georgia. They know they've got stars. They can rush with 4 men. Ohio State's got 5 plus a tight end and a linebacker. A halfback. 3 wide. Off rip, you can see, again, they are protecting Stroud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tight ends even blocking the edge guy with the halfback staring. But you've got 2 guys now kind of with eyes in the backfield watching Stroud. And somehow, 4 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. 4 players win here. So right up the middle, your boy Jalen Carter being a problem. Sorry, got to go back again. I didn't get a chance to highlight the throw. So, makes a man miss real quick, just a quick little step to the right. Sees another man coming. This guy has got to turn and hit his man, but, So look at that. Look at that delivery. It's a little blurry, but look at it. And watch that ball sail right to his guy on the comeback route. I mean, is there really any point in me showing any more why Stroud deserves? I really, I might actually like slowly move on from this tape to like his bad tape because everyone knows how good he was in this championship game. Look at this 24-14, just delivered another strike on the touchdown throw. Like, again, another guy right in the back pocket of his receiver delivers a ball where the guy can still run, and his guy drops it, sadly. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's no reason for this, like, tape study on him, really. Because we all watched the national championship game. We know what happened. Like, he was a stud. So, maybe with that being said, I'm going to be done with his championship game against the Bulldogs because I think everyone who's an actual football fan watched the national championship or what should have been the real national championship game, basically. TCU should have never been there. TCU was so overmatched. Love you, TCU, but you were overmatched. Sorry. So we want to go to the NU tape because Stroud apparently had a bad game against NU. And I'm very interested in that tape. All right, so we got the Northwestern tape here. Ohio State versus Northwestern. Looks like the 9th game of the season. CJ Stroud's first throw coming at 14 minutes, 15 seconds in the first quarter on a 2nd and 14. So I'm guessing Northwestern got the ball, had to punt. And, sometimes it's a little disturbing to see some of their bad games against teams like this. This is a 1-7 team that, and maybe they just didn't put in time to film tape because they just were like, it's Northwestern. But we're going to try to examine some of these throws here and maybe see if there's something to pause on CJ Stroud. So let's take a look here. First throw, little play action. What just happened there? I think that went off his wide receiver's hands, so nothing there really to see. Good pocket presence, steps up. I think he missed a guy there, honestly. Let me go back and watch this. I wish I had all 22 camera angles. So, I actually have a problem on this throw. Let's rewind here. That's the first throw. So, here we are. They are playing, holy crap, max coverage. Like, I don't even know what to think about this. I mean, I guess because they knew that. Okay. I get it. So, okay. You can't see because my body's blocking it. It is 3rd and 14 against Northwestern. Northwestern is not caring about the running threat. They have 1, 2, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players. It looks like 4 linebackers and 4 DBs. 4 linebackers playing basically 10 yards deep, 5 yards ahead of the first down. And 4 DBs playing 15 yards back right at the first down line, basically. Yeah, even if they ran, that's 8 guys running towards the ball. Should be able to stop them, especially on a college field, not an NFL field. So I get it. You got to pass. You're trying to get a first down. But sometimes you just need to get yards, especially you're on your own 25 here. You need yards. So even if you punt, it's a good punt. But I get it. You're not worried about Northwestern. So here he is reading. He's got nothing because there's so many people in coverage. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people protecting against 3. Ohio State needed to put another wide receiver out there or something, Maybe they probably didn't predict, this kind of coverage. So he steps up, rolls out a little bit. Not the best throw, but he's got a guy on him. So right here, you can't see him because he's behind me. Or no. It's at the top of his screen because it's mirrored. No, that's the ref. Yeah, it's behind me. There's a player. It's also kind of cut off. Sitting 5 yards past the line of scrimmage with no one around him. Still can't see him. There he is. At the very bottom right of your screen, bottom left of mine. Wide open. Easy throw. Just Stroud never looked over and saw him and tried to force a ball into that window, which, of course, didn't really work out. All right, next throw. Let's see it. Kind of likes to roll left, it looks like. I mean, good throw, good coverage. Nothing wrong in that last throw. A little bit of pressure, having to roll left. Gonna tuck it and run. First down. Let's see here. Ooh, sailed one. Let's see if there's a problem with the footwork on that throw. Or maybe his wide receivers weren't getting to where they were supposed to be. So a little bit of play action here. Solid pocket, a little bit of pressure from number 99 right here. I wish I had a better tool to like highlight and mark, like to draw circles on my screen. 99 actually might be worth a little bit of a look, actually. Solid pocket. Like, guys, look at this pocket. Try to turn out of the way here. I hate how it's like always on different sides. Beautiful pocket. Oh, I can see the issue. I'm going to flip the screen. It is that important to point this issue out. Flip horizontal. So you can see Stroud. All right, let's go back a few seconds here. I want you to truly pay attention to Stroud's front leg on this throw. He's going to sail this ball. And this is what I referenced it when I watched Richardson's, the University of Florida Richardson's tape with his footwork. This is something Lamar has troubles with. But this is one of the first times I've seen it with Stroud. So here we go. Looking good still. Watch this front leg, guys. Still looking pretty good. So what you're looking for right now, especially from this clean of a pocket, you are looking for him to transfer this right here, this, to the front leg a little bit and give a little bit of a bend on this front leg. And I want you to watch how straight-legged this throw is when he releases. And that's why the ball sails on him. I'm going to back it up one more time so I can try to freeze frame on it. Can I playback speed 0.75? I'm going to even slow back the speed on this. Look at that front leg. If I could draw an arrow, bro, that's about as straight as you can get. That leg needs to be bent about 20%. A little tiny lean. That is why the ball sailed on him. 100%. When we talk about footwork with a quarterback, that's what we're talking about. He needs to be able to use his legs and transfer the energy with his throw. Quarterbacks that have phenomenal arm talents like Lamar Jackson have a tendency sometimes to be a little sloppy in their mechanics, in my opinion, which can lead to that up and down accuracy and the inconsistency with accuracy. And again, this is the first time I've seen CJ Stroud have that problem. And again, this is his worst tape of the year according to his QBR, which is why we're here watching the tape. But so I'm going to go ahead and hit play. You're going to see this ball sails on him. Maybe it was a little further ahead, but it looks more like a sail and behind. Let's get our playback speed back up to normal. Looks left, looks right. Little throw. Probably just getting that way or miscommunication with the wide receiver. I actually like to see how he was able just to flick his wrist and get that ball across the field. But of course, the college field's a little smaller than the NFL field. Or I'm sorry, bigger. Good throw there to the left outside. Little play action, deep drop, little halfback outlet pass. How is Northwestern up right now? Ohio State. It makes me think that Ohio State really just did not care about this game and studied no film. They were like, it's in you, bro. We're going to walk all over him in that second half. Jalen. Oh my God, Jalen. I need more coffee. CJ Stroud. Good throw there. Little step up. And again, like, what happened to his mechanics all of a sudden? Let's watch that. I'm going to have to slow that one down. I feel like all of a sudden in this game, he just mechanic-wise, like, got sloppy. Okay, and we see that motion right there. I'm going to flip my screen here so y'all can get a better look here. I keep flipping it horizontally so you can always get the better view of him. That's what I'm trying to do here. I guess I have to do it every quarter of film. So he did the play action, got that little bend in to really sell. You can see all these guys kind of selling in a little bit. That's what we love to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players engaged here. Little screen out pass here. So, okay. And see, here's that bend in the front leg we kind of talk about. He's got really good stance right now, little on his toes. Love it. Looks good. Looks professional right there. Okay. He went left back to right because we're flipped on my screen. I'm sorry. Because I'm only flipping the image in OBS, guys. Kind of goes to scramble, which is kind of why he has the footwork issue. But so the rule is, as long as any part of the quarterback is behind the line of scrimmage, it is not, a legal pass. So of course he has got a good chunk of him behind the line of scrimmage. This is a legal throw. But just, I don't know. It just comes out awkward. He's got good, honestly, pretty good footwork right there, but it's just awkward. I feel like a little. And of course, his receiver does him no help at all, like at all. So maybe the receivers are more to blame in this game than anything for his worst game of the season. Kind of looking like the case right now. Good throw. Delivered the ball where it needed to go to make sure his man didn't get hit. Ooh, diving guy having a roll out. Good little flick. And again, his wide receiver is not helping him in this game. What just happened there, though? Oh, I got to roll that back. We're going to slow this down again. Gets pressured off right early. Does a good job with the little steps. Kind of a weird, like overly bent, I feel like, and just a weird stance where he's throwing the ball, like hips. But again, like, man, look at that sail on that ball. This one's not a footwork issue. I think it's just he was trying to deliver further outside and then tried to deliver inside. He knows he's got pressure. He does like this tiny little, like, I don't even know what to call it, scuttle step. So right there, hits that back foot, knows he's got a little bit of pressure. So he climbs in the pocket a little bit. Like, honestly, I love his pocket presence right here. It looks so good. Looks like he's got good footwork, but just, I don't know. Something seems awkward about the transfer of motion here and his hip and shoulder rotation. I can't really pinpoint it, guys, but something seems awkward when he lets that ball out. I don't know if it was a miscommunication or if he was going originally somewhere else. It's one of those ones we'll never know. Okay, it's kind of clear to see at this point, guys, why this is his worst tape of the season. His guys were dropping everything. Don't get me wrong, it was contested, but the ball was in a good spot. A little bit overthrown. Got to give. So that last ball, that's when you got to, I think, get a little more air under the ball, but not terrible. At least he didn't underthrow it. That was kind of a bad throw, but I mean, 3rd and 11, you kind of got to go for it, but not a good throw there. Little quarterback keep. Don't care about that. Another quarterback keep. Don't care about that. There's a throw. Whew, delivers a rocket right there. We're in the 3rd quarter. It's tied 7-7. Here's a 3rd and 11 throw. Good throw. Just a little curl route sits in there. Delivers it on time and on the chest. Looking deep. Little steps up. Oh, my God, dude. His wide receivers better have done so many push-ups after this game. Like, this is hard to watch. This many balls get dropped. Like, I don't know what was going on because he's still delivering good strikes. Like, dart. Oh, wonder if that was a bad route or little bit of a straight leg, but man, the transfer of energy on with his back leg, he sends that ball. But I hate to be that person. I mean, maybe that's why that ball sailed a little bit. Ended up just a little further than he wanted it to. Hate to be the person that kind of rinse and repeats here, but I mean, actually, I take it back. That's not a terrible bend on the front leg. It's kind of straight, but there is a little bend there, so I can't hate on that. That's actually good mechanics. Like I was already saying, I saw the good transfer follow through, but it looked like when he rotated, the knee actually was at a good angle. So, little fake toss. What happened there? Did this guy fall? I don't know if that was a miscommunication, if he thought he was going to throw more to the outside, or if he was supposed to sit down there. I feel like he was supposed to sit down in that route. Good screen delivered. Bad blocking by number 2. Miscommunication. All right. With that, I think I've got 2 good games worth of tape on Jalen. Jalen, oh my God. On CJ Stroud. Northwestern was his worst QBR game of the season, but I think it's really clear to see that that's not on him. His wide receivers kind of let him down on that in that game. We wanted to look at the Hoosier tape too. Do we have Hoosier tape? It's Hawkeye. What? I don't have Hoosier tape? That's a little disappointing. I've got 10 games worth of tape, and the Hoosiers game isn't on there. But all right. I mean, I think it's easy to see that he is the clear number 1. I don't know if I have anyone still in here. Is there someone you would like to see next if I do move on from him? I'm trying to see another. Actually, I would love, I think, to watch the Maryland tape because Maryland's got some good corners. 78.8. Yeah, it's in the margin. Let's try to watch some Maryland tape. So he had a QBR of 78.8 for this game. So higher than NU, of course less than Georgia. And as we know, Deontay Banks, corner for Maryland, is going to be probably a first-round pick this year. And there's potentially some other really good another good corner on this team. So let's watch the Maryland tape. Terrapins. First throw of the game. Oh, hold up. We got a dime alert on first throw of the game. 1st and 10, 15 minutes. Ohio State with the first possession, 10-0 against Maryland's 6-4 record. Let me flip so y'all get a good view of him. Flip horizontal. So where's his top, bottom? So at the bottom of your screen, here's where the throw is going to be. Going to be like a over the shoulder fade, kind of like back shoulder, and it's a beautiful throw. Let's see, right off the rip, looking good. Good mechanics, that little tiny bit of a bend, and my God, look at that. Look at that catch, Harrison Jr. Beauty. All right. Good little just short throw. Ooh, hit his man on the numbers. Pressured, found the man on the backside of the play. That's a touchdown. Let's see here. Ooh, that was that was, it looked like his mechanics were good, and then like it looked like he did something weird with his arm there, like just trying to change the throw angle maybe. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to cover the quarterbacks. I feel like I'm already way too far behind for my schedule for the day. I'm like hours behind because I spend too much time on so I might have to just cover this and be done for the day, sadly, and have to move my quarterback coverage to tomorrow. So, but we're going to try to finish the Maryland tape first. Sorry, I got to rewind that again now. So he's got a man barreling down on him. Takes the hit too, it looks like. So that's probably the real issue on the play. Gets smashed. Oh my God, dude, come on. Yep. Nothing wrong there. Look good, delivered. Ooh. Pressured early. Steps up. Rolls right. Gonna tuck it and run a little. Ooh. Ooh. What a dime. Watch his little feet. Again, got that little bit of a bend in his knee. And delivers it on point. Guys, like I said, there's a reason Stroud's tape shows he's a top 2 pick. Like, it's just consistently, even on his worst QBR rating tape, it's still not his. Like, all the misses are not him. Whew. That ball was on a line. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to bring that one back. I think he straightened his leg up a little bit, but he just whipped that freaking ball. A little bit step right. Yep. A little bit high, but it worked out. And again, that's the small inconsistencies, but he still just put on a line where the ball needed to go. Looking deep, got nothing, short man, and just not the best throw there, but collapsing pocket. Look, ooh, see now, here's a high ball again. See, that looked like a little bit of an overbend on his leg. He's not in a groove right now, it would seem. He hit his groove in Georgia, though. Just every throw was on point. Oh, it says I'm getting encoding overloads. So the might be having issues. Drops back, looking left, looking right. I'm just going to toss it away. Looking back right, got a man, and a little high and outside there. Good bend on the legs. Yeah, just a little too far high and outside. Maybe he was expecting his guy to get all the way to the sideline. Short throw, good placement on it though. Fake, drives the ball in, not bad. It's all the only routes that were there. Ooh, wide receiver. Didn't help him there. Whoo, again, delivered. I gotta watch that one. He delivered that ball. And see, the thing is, like you right here, you can see he's got a. Hold on, let me flip. Sorry, so y'all can get a good look here. So we're gonna flip horizontally. So you see it a good bit. He gets some really nice pockets here, as you can see. But Stroud has shown us in some of the games, like he delivered a bomb at 12:20 in the second of the Georgia game, escaping and threw a bomb. So here he is, looks good, kind of getting pressured. So I think he steps up a little bit, raises his body up when he throws, doesn't transfer as much. And that's why that ball. I'm sorry, not that one. I think the next one is what I'm referring to. Ah, God dang it. My computer, I can tell, is already struggling, guys. Because YouTube's like not working the best for me. So apologize if the quality of the stream is getting a little bit less. That's the halfback throw. Deep ball to the left and nailed it. Pressured. That, I think, would be an intentional grounding in the NFL, so you got to be careful of that. Little short pass, good placement on the ball, gives his guy a chance to go and do something. Play action. Good coverage, honestly. I don't know if there was anything else open because unfortunately I can't get the all 22 angles, sadly. But that looked like just good coverage across the board here. Again, great placement on the throw. Let's see here. Rolls. I don't care about runs. I could care less about his running talent. Looks right, looks left, delivers a ball on the shoulder pads. Ball to halfback. Again, great placement on the numbers. And that's what I'm loving. I'm loving how many balls I see hit the numbers up at the face mask. Like, that's what I want to see. Ooh, great little touch throw there on the crosser. I want to go back to that. Oh, yeah. Great little touch throw. Good. And again, good coverage. These guys are on top of these receivers. They're not, make no mistake, like, and these receivers are pretty good at Maryland. Ooh, threw back across the field. That was a little dangerous. But he's trying to make something happen here. It's a 30-33 game. I mean, so that's basically 3 games worth of short film on CJ Stroud. I don't know about y'all, but I saw nothing to give me pause that I couldn't consider him my franchise quarterback in the future. I think he shows everything on tape. The arm strength is absolutely there. Let me go back to my notes here. I'm sorry. On the combine. Where are my quarterback numbers? D tackles. Chico. My apologies, guys. I'm trying very hard to find my notes on the quarterbacks that I took, because I made sure to take a bunch of notes when I was watching the combine. That's my O-line notes. There's my quarterback notes. So sorry, guys. So on CJ Stroud, when they were doing basically the arm test, strength test, Stroud's longest ball basically went down at the 30-yard line. In perspective, the next close, or I'm sorry, that's wrong. His ball went down at the 27-yard line. The next closest throw behind him double check here. 35, 31, 30. Let me check the other side. Anyone put any 20s on the other side? So yeah, I think the next longest ball behind Stroud came from Richardson, and it hit the 30, so 2 yards shorter. So basically, it looks like Stroud has an arm that could do about a few 5 yards stronger than Richardson's. The only other quarterback that kind of had even close to that level of arm strength from the day one quarterbacks was Levis and then Bennett, actually. Hall had a decent long arm, but not that great. The better deep ball throwers were absolutely day two quarterbacks. So day one, you had Bennett, Cunningham, Duggan, Hayner, Hall, Levis, and Bagent. Bagent's going to be one of my favorite sleeper quarterbacks from this draft, guys. Day two, of course, we had McKee, O'Connell, Richardson, Stroud, DTR, and Tune, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time. I meant to start sooner today, about an hour sooner. I've got to go get ready for dinner. I got to cook dinner for the girlfriend. I've got steak defrosting, so your boy's making steak bowls tonight, steak and fried rice. So tomorrow I am going to try to get on this and do a little bit more coverage with my other quarterbacks. Originally, we were supposed to be doing wide receivers and tight ends tomorrow, so that might get pushed back one day because we had a little bit of flexibility. Tomorrow, though, we will be covering starting with Bryce Young, Levis, Richardson, Hooker, and then we're going to cover some of the favorites like DTR, Bennett, and Bagent. And then two guys that, like the draft guys are high on, which would be Tanner McKee and I think it's Hall is the other one. I messed up the names. But, all right, guys. With that being said, I think we are going to call it for this evening. We've been live for about 2.5 hours now. For anyone that did drop in, we appreciate you dropping in. For anyone that does come in, please make sure like, subscribe, follow. You can find me on Twitter at Darwin's Raven 20. Of course, here on YouTube, Darwin's Raven. Feel free to submit me any questions. Tweet at me, my guys. If any content creators see this, I know Chimera joked about it earlier, and of course Joe Stevens is one of my guys. We know we're trying to get this mock draft done a little over ambitious. Ideally, I would like 26 people or whatever. Worst case, we need 6 more people, basically one for each division. So if you would love to be a part of that, please reach out to me, guys. And yeah, Joe, if you're going live, for anyone that does drop in, again, plug to Joe Stevens over Seahawks Talk. Make sure you go check out his channel as well. We always do a Monday night collab around 9 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Standard Pacific Time. So Joe Stevens, guys, is going to be on one of our 49ers friends channels called No Border Sports. Starting in about 15 minutes, so about 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, guys. So go check out No Border Sports on YouTube with Joe Stevens. And with that, guys, B-rave with D-rave is officially day one in the books done. Have a great night, everyone, and go Flock, go Ravens. Let's get this Lamar